The Witcher 4 just got a massive update regarding its production, and it has everything to do with how CD Projekt is handling AI behind the scenes. In a year where every studio seems obsessed with automating something, CDPR is taking a very different route, and it could seriously shape how The Witcher 4 feels when we finally get our hands on it. CD Projekt's co-CEO, Michał Nowakowski, has come out and given some very clear answers about what role AI is actually going to play in The Witcher 4's development. And the short version is this: they're using AI, but not in the way a lot of people were afraid of. No replacing artists, no replacing writers, no replacing voice actors, no press a button, get a game. This all came out during an investor webcast where he was directly asked about AI and whether it would mean fewer people working on games. His answer was surprisingly blunt for a big company. AI will be used for productivity, for speeding up boring tasks, but it is not going to replace human creators. According to him, they're not planning to cut jobs because of AI, and they're not handing core creative work over to algorithms. That's a huge statement at a time when a lot of players are genuinely worried about AI eating into the soul of game development. You've got people anxious about AI-generated art, AI voices copying real actors, studios cutting corners, and games losing that handmade touch. So hearing the studio behind The Witcher and Cyberpunk commit to keeping humans at the center matters a lot, especially when we're talking about something as big as the next Witcher saga. The key detail here is how they're drawing the line. CDPR is basically splitting game dev into two sides: the creative heart of the project and the repetitive grind around it. Things like writing dialogue, crafting characters, building story arcs, designing the look and feel of the world. All of that stays in human hands. No AI doing Geralt-style performances, no AI writing Witcher lore, no AI replacing programmers building the core of the game. Where AI comes in is on the support side. Stuff like tools that can help test builds faster, analyze bugs, assist with basic facial animations, or auto-generate placeholder content that humans then redo properly. Think of it as giving the devs a better toolbox instead of a robot colleague taking their job. The goal, according to Nowakowski, is to make people more efficient, not to make them disappear. This also lines up with what we already know about The Witcher 4's tech stack. The game is being built on Unreal Engine 5 rather than CDPR's old in-house REDengine. That alone is a huge shift. Combining a modern engine like UE5 with smarter tools behind the scenes means they can potentially build bigger, more detailed worlds faster without needing to crunch the team into the ground. If AI is helping with version control, testing, or automating super repetitive tasks, that could actually give writers, quest designers, and artists more time to focus on quality. And that's where this gets really interesting for Witcher fans. Imagine a massive open world where side quests feel more handcrafted, NPCs have more unique behavior, and the environment tells richer stories simply because the devs weren't wasting hours on repetitive manual tasks. If AI is quietly cleaning up the boring stuff, the human creativity can go harder on the things we actually care about: story, immersion, and personality. Of course, people are right to be suspicious whenever a big studio mentions AI. We've seen enough bad moves in this industry to justify the paranoia. But CD Projekt is in a very specific position here. After the whole Cyberpunk 2077 launch disaster, they know they can't afford another hit to player trust. Promising that AI won't replace human talent, especially in areas like graphics, code, and voice acting, is a very deliberate move. It's not just a tech decision, it's a PR decision and a long-term brand move. There's also the wider industry angle. Right now, tons of publishers are quietly experimenting with AI for concept art, temp voices, or even early drafts of dialogue. Some are open about it, some are not. CDPR stepping forward and saying, "We're using it to help our teams, not to get rid of them," is them planting a flag. It positions The Witcher 4 as a game still built by actual writers, quest designers, and actors, not something stitched together by pattern-matching software. That can also have a direct impact on how the game feels. The Witcher series has always stood out because of its writing. The moral choices, the weird little side stories, the messed up fairy tales, the way even minor characters feel like real people. You don't get that level of nuance from automated scripts. Keeping that human weirdness in the process is what separates a memorable RPG from a lifeless checklist open world. Another important part of Nowakowski's comments is the job security side. He specifically addressed fears that AI adoption would mean downsizing teams. According to him, this is not the plan. The idea is that you still need highly skilled writers, designers, programmers, and artists. You just give them better tools to move faster. So if anything, AI becomes one more part of the pipeline that has to be managed and directed, not some magic box that eliminates the need for human work. And from a development timeline perspective, that might be a good thing. The Witcher 4 is still in production, and big A++ RPGs already take years and years to get right. If internal tools can shave months off testing, help catch bugs earlier, or make iterations smoother, there's a chance we get a more polished day one experience without repeating the Cyberpunk scenario. Less firefighting, more planning. There's also the threat angle. If other studios start leaning too hard into AI content, there's a real risk of the market being flooded with soulless, generic games. CDPR staking out this human-first, AI-second approach could actually become a selling point. Players might gravitate to games where they know the characters and stories were crafted by real people, not just generated to hit engagement metrics. The Witcher brand already has that prestige. This just reinforces it. On top of that, there's the performance side. AI can be used for things like smarter NPC navigation, more dynamic crowds, or reactive systems. But again, those systems still need to be designed and tuned by humans. If CDPR uses AI as a component of advanced behavior instead of full control, Witcher 4's world could feel more alive and responsive, while still carrying that human storytelling DNA in every encounter. It's also worth thinking about what this means for the voice side of the Witcher universe. We've already seen other companies experiment with AI-assisted voice cloning or synthetic performance. CDPR specifically drawing a line and saying AI will not replace voice actors matters a lot. It respects the craft those actors bring, the emotion, the pacing, the subtle details that make dialogue believable. That decision alone will probably win a lot of goodwill from both performers and fans. So, where does this leave The Witcher 4 right now? We have a game being built on Unreal Engine 5 with a studio that's openly using AI as an internal helper, not a creative replacement. We have leadership saying they're not cutting jobs because of it, and we have a fan base that's very sensitive to anything that might make the next Witcher feel less authentic. All of these pieces together suggest a project that's trying to balance modern tools with old-school craftsmanship. If CD Projekt actually sticks to this philosophy all the way through development, The Witcher 4 could end up being one of the big test cases for how A++ games handle AI in the next few years. Not as a gimmick, not as a marketing bullet point, but as a quiet behind-the-scenes boost that helps human creators push further without losing control of what makes these games special. Now, the big question is how much of this we'll actually notice when we finally play it. Will quests feel more layered because designers had more time? Will the world feel denser and more reactive because testing and iteration were smoother? We'll only really know when CDPR starts showing real gameplay and talking more openly about their tools and pipelines. Until then, this update is a pretty strong signal. The Witcher 4 is not shaping up to be some AI-generated experiment. It's still a human-driven RPG, powered by writers, artists, designers, and actors, with AI sitting in the background as a quiet assistant rather than the main attraction. And in an industry that's getting more automated by the month, that alone makes this project stand out in a big way. If you're hyped or worried about AI creeping into your favorite franchises, this is one of those stories to keep an eye on as CDPR moves deeper into development and starts showing more of what they've been building.